All right. Good day. It's always a great day to, of course, be alive. And pretty much, we're going to be going over, of course, another quote. Another quote will be exciting. Okay, no. Either way, the quote that I kind of ran into this week that really stood out to me would be, life gets better by change and not by chance. We're gonna spin the block again for the latecomers. I know you guys, for the latecomers. Either way, life gets better by change, not by chance. And it was written by one of my, of course, it was said by one of my favorite author and mentor, Jim Rohn. But of course, the first time I kind of heard this quote, it really kind of highlighted so many times that I've most definitely applied it to my life, which was most definitely not sitting around for someone, of course, come and lead or make a change in my life. And that also kind of reminded me of another quote, which was, the things you don't change, you are kind of choosing. And it's if someone was to most definitely come treat you a certain way you don't really like or respect, you always have the option to correct that person and let them know, hey, one of my standards a standard of mine was kind of mistreated this way, XYZ, in order to make sure that the person most definitely does not violate it again the next time, because nobody else is gonna know what your boundaries and things of that nature are unless you communicate them. But I'm not, of course, gonna say another one, but pretty much I'm currently going through my second semester of my junior year at Texas Southern University. And first 2 weeks, it was a bit of a rocky one. I had two classes. They really gave me a hard time because one of the classes, the syllabus was not up to date. And of course, our meeting time was gonna be to be announced. But so that just led to assignments being piled up all the way up to the second week. Of course, the due date, which kind of tipped me off a little bit. The due date, which I was expecting for them to give us a little bit more days to complete the assignment that was piled up, because I ended up having about 9 assignments split between two classes. And of course, the due date being still January 25. And of course, I had other things most definitely I was also working on for the other classes that I was taking. But if I would have just sat on the sideline and be like, the professor, these XYZ issues was coming up the first week, this is the reason I wasn't able to get it done, I could have been like everybody else and just use that as an excuse not to do the assignment. But I'm not gonna take the chance, not with any professor. I'm not gonna hand control to nobody to decide the fate of my life or my grade, or basically give authority over to somebody else when I have the full authority to pretty much play a big role on deciding play a big chance in increasing the probability of me getting a good grade in those 9 assignments that I had, or the 9 tests that I had to complete for in between those 2 classes. Either way, people, we ran out of space on my camera, people, so the message has been sent. So you better make sure you go out there and have a great day.